Right. So final section, we talk a little bit about implementation and adoption of the new system. So I think Sarah, what are the key elements of a successful HRIS implementation, and also, um, how important is it for strong change management, communication, to really cement that adoption within the business?
Yeah, I think it's getting people excited early about a new platform and like, but what is it going to mean to them? So tapping into like, how are they going to use it? Are they going to enjoy it? Again, coming back to that, is it going to give them some joy out of using it if it's got a good UX and UI? I think the UX is as important as the UI. So can they get to the things that they want to easy? Is it easy to navigate rather than it just looking good? Getting early champions and doing pilot groups is always, I've always done that in any HR tech stack implementation, is getting a couple of people who you know are going to enjoy using the system, and who you can trust and who you'll get some honest feedback from. So getting your early champions. So we've just launched a new feedback tool. We had some early champions. We've seen great traction with it already. So getting people who are going to work behind the scenes that aren't in the HR team to help really, really does make a difference. And I think it's really easy for a system to flop, I think, as well. So you as a HR team or talent team will get really excited about your new system. You'll do loads of great comms, you'll get everybody onboarded. And then it's easy to kind of for it to drift. So I think kind of constantly looking at analytics and metrics and usage as you go through not just the first couple of months, but the first year. Like, do you see, I think with anything, you're going to see like an initial uptake because it's something that's new and shiny and people want to use it, and then you'll likely see a bit of a drop off. So when it's keeping an eye on when that drops off and like, okay, how do we build momentum back up if there's going to be a bit of a drop off? So not just looking at that data in the first couple of months, but actually looking at it, 6 months in, are we still getting maximum use out of the system? Are there any particular areas where it's dropped off? If there are, why? And digging into that with your people managers. So I think, yeah, keeping that momentum going all along, and communication. And we do a series of what we call news blast sessions every Monday morning. It's different topics every week from all around the business. So we just make sure that we keep, we have like one every 6 weeks that's people focused. So reminding people of the systems, platforms, benefits that we've got. So for example, with a new system that we've just implemented now, we'll probably do a news blast in a few months' time just to make sure that people are getting the most out of it. It's a bit like customer success in a way, like, we're
Internal, yeah.
using it internally
Mhm.
ourselves, like making sure that people are actually getting the value out of the system.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Rob?
I couldn't echo what Sarah said better. I think you've covered everything. The first thing that I think about when you come to kind of starting an implementation is getting the right people behind the project really early, making sure that you've got those champions. People don't want technology forced on them. They want to feel like if you're going through an implementation, HRIS, ATS, whatever it might be, they often take a number of weeks, months to implement, and you absolutely have to make sure it's critical. You make sure that the implementation is successful, and the best way that you can do that is by making sure that you've engaged with all of the right stakeholders in the business. You make them feel like a valued part of the implementation project, like you're implementing it for them. So getting their feedback, like Sarah mentioned, do you do that really early before you even go out to market? Let's go and talk to hiring managers. Let's go and talk to our cross section of our employees, and essentially use them as a way of gathering feedback about their current experience, the requirements that we have as a business if we were to change what we're doing, and then use them as use cases. You can go back to anyone that might push back on using the technology after it's implemented. You can always refer back to these individuals that supported you in um, building out the business case in the first place, actually giving you the feedback that you need in terms of the challenges that the business was facing from a specific user perspective. Yeah, I think Sarah nailed it. I think you covered just about everything there that I'd be thinking about in terms of preparing for an implementation.
Great. Yeah, no, I think it's really good. I think we've talked about onboarding and the customer support side, but that all sort of links in. If you've got partners coming through the business early on, or
Mhm.
champions, should we say, and they're part of that, onboarding, working with the new system that comes in as well, it's just going to cement that relationship longer term, and both sides are working really hard to get success.